How's it? Today is Monday, March 28th, and um, I competed yesterday, but I'm stubborn, and so I wanted to continue lifting. I wanted to continue pushing and progressing. Um, Typically after meets, people take a few days off, and then kind of restart later in the week, or maybe even the whole week off. Not me. Um, I wanted to continue lifting, and Steve was saying, okay, if I'm going to continue lifting, we can restart another block, which is not the same thing as continuing where I left off. But I don't think I could have continued where I left off, to be honest. So today is block power snatch, like super high volume, so 5 sets of 4 at between 65 and 70% of my best snatch. So I elected to do 70% today. So 70% of 105, I think, is 73 and a half, something like that. And so I just did 73. Actually, I did 73 and a half if you want to count the illegal clips that I use on the sides. I'm not counting that though. But yeah, so 73 for 5 sets of 4 today off of these kind of high blocks. I've actually never done high block snatch work for longer than a few weeks, for longer than 2 weeks. I usually transition out of it very, very quickly. But I think given that I'm at Central Strength here, they have these beautiful rogue blocks. I think I'm going to continue doing this for as long as I need to. Um, yeah, I'm really excited to see where it'll take me because as far as training um, methodologies and training exercises, training exercise selection itself, this is not an exercise that I have been given the opportunity to select too many times in the past. So it feels very foreign to me as it is just the sets of 4. Sets of 4 for power snatch is actually really light. Sorry, 73 is actually really light for the power snatch for sets of 4. But I don't know, it just feels like I'm not moving the way that I should be. You see how some of these are not quite caught above head, like that second rep on this set. Third and fourth were a little bit better, but second rep on this set, it was like I had height, but then my positioning was a little bit further back in my heels than I wanted it to be for the catch. So it just feels like I'm imprecise, and I think that compounds as I get tired. So here I'm catching the bar a lot lower. I'm still jumping back, so I don't know. I think that there's a lot of room to improve here. And like I said, this is not a thing that I practice very often. So I'm just very, very excited for the growth that is sure to come. It's like it's essentially like I'm a noob here for block powers. Something actually happened later in the workout that is actually very, very, very worrisome. It was after I did my RDLs and after I did my push press plus overhead squat. My left knee, it felt like it was locking up and it felt like it was gonna give out, like that classic symptom of like a classic meniscus issue, where it feels like I just can't support my own body weight on my knee. Um, I'm not sure if this is something to worry about. I will see what they say tomorrow at work because um, I now work at the physical therapy clinic, and so it's an outpouring of knowledge that is just prior to getting this job is not available to me. These are all experts in the human body, and so if I can get any information about what's going on with my knee and maybe potentially ways to fix it, then I think I would be silly and very stupid to not utilize what the resources they have. So today, actually, I was at one of the clinics. So I work at 2 different clinics in Sunnyvale. I tried this thing called the Game Ready for both of my knees. The Game Ready is a compression merged with ice modality. So they have little sleeves for your knees, for your elbow, for your shoulder, for your wrists. I guess it's for your whole hand, for your ankle. All of these things, and essentially what it does is it gives compression to your knee, or I guess to whatever joint you want to game ready, and then it runs very cold water around it, so it basically gives you the ice portion of the rice. Rest, ice, compression, elevate. Um, but yeah, I tried that earlier today. I don't know if that's what kind of impacted how it went and how my knee felt today, but um, it also is important to remember that I did just lift yesterday, like pretty maximally for a long time. I don't think that that is odd for me, however, because on Fridays I typically do the same thing. On Fridays I do five singles, five heavy singles for each of the lifts, and so to me, doing three competition lifts is less. So having that idea that, oh, like maybe this has been caused by my competition yesterday, I think is valid, but is not may not be the most accurate assessment. Um, it could be. I don't know. Like I don't usually feel like this on Saturdays though, which is just the day after I lift, because I do big Fridays. So Fridays are the super super heavy day, and I don't usually feel like that on Saturday mornings. So I can't really say. Um, but it is what happened, and then again, I will do my best to figure out what's going on tomorrow. Here is my snatch, push, press, plus overhead squat. So this is exactly what I did for my RDLs, and my RDLs are I think like 80% of my best snatch. So 80% is works out to be 84, which is exactly what I'm doing here. So I think that I'm just going to continue keeping those together. I think that's what Steve wants me to do moving forward. Yeah, and then after that, I just finish my pull-ups and my GHD sit-ups, and getting off of the GHD sit-up is where I noticed my knee giving me issues. I don't know if it's again, I don't know if it's from the meet yesterday or whatnot, but dismounting the GHD sit-up was the thing that gave me the most issues. So I think moving forward, I should be extra careful about what's going on, and I don't know, just like how to jump off of this apparatus. But yeah, that's it for today. Just happy that I'm able to train today. But yeah, thank you for watching. Shoots.